I don't get it actually. Why is it like...
MPCS님이 헤이 브로. MPCS님이 하우디. MPCS님이 why don't you turn on sound?
Yes, I know. It's a different setup. I don't have my camera working, so it is actually... It's not the same setup as before, so... I still wonder why the camera is smaller than the canvas. Anyways. So, let me...
MPCS님이 you look so nice.
Oh, thank you. But I'm not shaved. Is there something good?
MPCS님이 is there something good?
What do you mean something good? What do you mean? I am studying marketing. Today's task is reputation warfare. Encounter message.
MPCS님이 I wanna live there permanently.
I wanna live there permanent?
MPCS님이 Swiss is heaven.
No, Swiss is not heaven, believe me. If you would live here, you would say, no, it's not heaven. It is not. It's a misbelief. I fall for it too. I fell for it too. Only on first sight. But many foreigners are leaving Switzerland because they don't like the Swiss people. And Swiss people don't like foreigners. So there's a huge gap between these people. And it's hard to get befriended with Swiss people.
MPCS님이 IT apostrophe S so sad.
Ah, it's so sad. Yeah, it is. You should be...
짱꽁구님이 안녕하세요 아저씨.
네, 안녕하세요. I don't like 아저씨, but yeah, it's okay.
짱꽁구님이 아저씨인데.
진짜? Alright. 몇 살이에요? 아이고요.
짱꽁구님이 아저씨 맞죠 JK님.
Alright, you have to say so. 근데 당신은 몇 살이에요?
짱꽁구님이 아저씨보다 어릴걸요?
어릴걸요. What does that mean? You're older than me? No. Younger than me? Let me translate. 한국말 잘 못해요.
짱꽁구님이 I getting younger than you.
Yeah, that is probably true. 어릴걸요 since I was a kid? What? No, that doesn't make sense. What's the basic form of 어릴걸요? Is it an L? R? Yeah, it looks like an L sound. 예, 맞죠. That's probably true. But I don't know.
짱꽁구님이 인노 코리안 티처.
아, 왜요? 근데 한국어 내 국어예요? 아니지? Is it your mother language? It should be. I should change the Twitch titles to what Doggery always does. He has like EN and where is it? Over there. But I don't like the German, so maybe I take out the German.
짱꽁구님이 My father worked in Swiss a long time ago. 짱꽁구님이 아데이 호텔.
Did he like Switzerland? Actually, did he really like it? Did you ask him? We were discussing about if Switzerland is really the place to go. I say no. I live here, but I say no. Did you ask him ever?
짱꽁구님이 I know nothing about Swiss.
근데 아버지는 스위스를 좋았어요? 싫었어요?
치지 밑줄 더 밑줄맹님이 What are we studying how to be douchey?
How to be douchey? What's that? No. I'm studying.
짱꽁구님이 I don't know man, but he said he missed kimchi.
맞죠? 나도. I make my own kimchi. 김치 많이 좋아요. Why didn't you make? Oh yeah, at that time, maybe a long time ago, you didn't even get the gochugaru and stuff, so it wouldn't taste like Korean kimchi. Yeah, try. So today's topic is
짱뽕구님이 What do people eat in Swiss?
what do people eat in Swiss? They eat a lot of dairy products, milk, cheese, yogurt, and butter. So that's a very big part of diet. Bread, of course, noodles, rice, potatoes.
짱뽕구님이 나이스.
And as well, they eat vegetables. So the healthy Swiss people eat a lot of vegetables. Swiss people like barbecue a lot. So everyone has a barbecue, a gas. Most of them have a gas barbecue at home. So they switch on the gas and then they fry on the barbecue and then they eat that. So Swiss people like barbecue a lot. I don't know why, but yeah, that's what they eat a lot. Like traditional food, typical traditional food would be like the resti, like the hash browns, the hash brown stuff, which is really good. I like it as well. And what else? Yeah, they drink a lot of beer, a lot of wine, so Swiss people drink a lot, I guess.
짱뽕구님이 K.
But I think if you don't drink a lot, you won't survive in Switzerland. It's like you need to drink a lot. Yeah, stress levels are very high in Switzerland, I guess.
짱뽕구님이 Do people in Swiss smoke weed?
I would say yes. I don't know if it's compared a lot to other countries, but like a couple of years ago, weed was not forbidden. So I don't know about the legal status of weed nowadays, but for a long time,
짱뽕구님이 Is IT legal in Swiss?
yeah, that's a question. For a long time, it was not illegal to smoke weed. It was not illegal to grow weed at home. It was only illegal to deal with weed. So if you would buy like the seeds and grow your own plants, that was not forbidden. And nowadays, I think nowadays it's forbidden. I have to look it up actually. I'm not quite sure about. What's it called? Marijuana? Marijuana. Right. Marijuana. Alright. I don't even know how to write that shit.
짱뽕구님이 마리화나?
Yeah. They over here they write it with an H instead of with a G. Yeah. So, let me check that. So, how about law?
짱뽕구님이 와우디어 아론이 81ppl인 스위스.
Yeah, Switzerland is really small. So they say cannabis or marijuana is forbidden in Switzerland, but they're not very strict with enforcing that. So the consumption of cannabis in small amounts is they don't do anything. It's forbidden actually, but they don't do anything. They most probably they just take the drugs and destroy them, but it doesn't have any effect, any legal effect afterwards.
짱뽕구님이 K.
Yeah, so they say in Switzerland they sold cannabis as a like in small pockets for a nice cent, and it was like disguised as a scented thing, and that is forbidden nowadays. But typically you can buy it in some stores, so it's not that you have to find a dealer on the street. So you can buy it like privately or in some shops, and so it's not really a criminal thing because the access to cannabis is really easy, they say. But still, it's illegal. But if the amount you carry with you is very small, nothing will happen. Yeah, that's what they say. I don't know. I never tried marijuana. I don't have any experience with that. Huh, interesting. Yeah, so I'm reading, maybe I show you that. Yeah, so I'm reading, so the article is called Reputation Warfare, Spotlight on Social Media and the New Rules of Branding. That's the topic. It's nice if you get those PDFs, but they're like stupid to read because you always have to scroll back and down, back and down. So I don't like the way of reading that. It would be easier if there would be like a simple text, right? Yeah, it is. So, and there's like six rules, which you have to comply to when it comes to take care of your reputation as a brand when people are like interacting negatively with your brand. So like to say, if you get bad comments, easily put, if you get bad comments, where is my oh, over there. So that's like the thing, right? So if they go on social media and complain about your company, how do you react? That's like the topic. Right? So, and the task of today is to write a small paper, not a paper, like some comments about the rules and yeah. So there's 2 questions given.
All right, for your individual assignment for this module, what I'd like you to do is go back and read the article, Reputation Warfare by Leslie Gaines Ross, and look at those 6 tactics we talked about that she lays out in it, and think about your own business, your own company. Which of these tactics to manage and better defend your reputation in the world of social media, which tactic do you think would be most helpful or most useful immediately to your business? And how might you apply it? What do you think that would be in your case? What would be the opportunity, and how would you pursue that? And please submit your answers to the platform. We'll look forward to them. Thanks.
Yeah, so that's a task. Let me go back to the modules. Yeah, I'm trying to fill out like so this I have to watch like a couple of videos again, but I wanted to it's module number 8, I guess. No, that was, and it was maybe first part. Yeah, that's the video. So I already watched that, so that's why the pop-up comes. Let's re-watch that one and think about it.
Lastly, I want to invite you to read an article by Leslie Gaines Ross, who's someone who's worked for many years in public relations and brand reputation. It's a very well-written article she wrote called Reputation Warfare, looking at how in the era of social media, with so many people, everyone has access to these platforms for communication, that your reputation is something you really have to manage with challenges coming from all sides, so to speak. And she gives 6 very constructive, I think, strategies to think about how do you manage it and protect and defend your reputation over time in this dynamic environment. So her first, she says, avoid disproportionate shows of force. Again, think back to the example of the bullying and the overkill, maybe with a Skoda Automotive. So just because someone is saying something critical about you anywhere on social media doesn't mean you necessarily have to respond every time, or certainly try to sort of pull out your big guns and show how much bigger you are. Very often, there are many cases where the best thing to do is to lay quiet, or perhaps just subtly open up the door to a conversation with them to try to find out what's going on behind this issue that's been raised. Our second strategy, don't let bureaucracy get in the way. Respond at high speed. Right? Exactly the example we saw from Citibank, and need to simplify and streamline that process so that you can actually engage with the customer in the moment. Her third tactic is empower your team to help tell your organization's side of the story. This is something companies don't always think about, is your employees are a really key element of your customer network. They're on social media too. And of course, you don't want them to be going off completely off script. You need to maybe be giving some guidelines to your employees about saying, hey, if you are speaking about the firm in your personal social media account, you are now acting, as an employee, and we expect you to do so thoughtfully, just as you would if you were speaking to the press. But we also are happy to have you, advocate on our behalf or share your perspective from someone working at this company if there's a criticism or a dispute or going on about our business or our sector or our industry. A lot of businesses are realizing that you really have to tap into and think about HR internal communications as part of your corporate communications going forward. Her fourth principle is to go rogue. New media can be your friend. right? So getting in there, taking advantage of these tools, like the example you saw from Domino's, that fighting fire with fire, playing in the same territory where the issue or the trouble is coming at you is often the best strategy. Her fifth one is finding sympathetic third parties to serve as force multipliers, if you will. So who are the other parties out there who might be also able to chime in, maybe other businesses, business partners, other constituencies who understand your perspective and can be another voice, a sort of a more independent voice. Often it's your own customers, right? If you can enlist them to stand up and defend you from criticism, it's often much more effective than you directly defending yourself. And lastly, and this sort of feeds into that and all the others, is a really sort of core public relations principle, which is to stockpile credentials now for use in battles ahead or troubled times ahead, if you will. In other words, the more that you can do to build up goodwill, to build relations with your customers and with your constituents, to have a customer network that you really have a relationship with and feels that you hear their voice and vice versa, the better position you'll be when a crisis does happen further down the line, and people will give you the benefit of the doubt, hopefully, and if need be, they'll come to your defense and speak on your behalf if you need that help when the time comes. Right, so 6 very useful strategies to keep in mind when you're thinking about how do you manage and protect your reputation. The overall lesson is, when we think about the lessons of brand failures, is there are a lot of things that can go wrong, but they don't have to. And if you take this thoughtful approach and think from the long term about where you're going in terms of managing your reputation, and most of all, realizing it's not something that you completely control, right? That your reputation and your brand is in the hands of others as well, the better you'll be prepared to thrive and really take the most advantage as a brand of social media. Here's one more additional resource that may be helpful for you as you're thinking about putting in place policies, perhaps with your business, for social media.
Oh yeah, that was good. The
guidelines that you
policies
have for your own employees, for example. It's an archive of social media governance policies that have been shared by many different companies and nonprofits of different sizes all over the world, just as a resource, templates that you might use in thinking about putting together some policy guidelines for your own business.
So that's the slides and the policies. That's something interesting. I think, like, if you have a big organization or even a small one, empowering employees in social media. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it's on Kindle. Oh, that's cool. I can write it on my Kindle. Where's my Kindle? Where is the Kindle? All right. It's always good to have a Kindle, right? If you don't have one, I think you should get one. It's very convenient, and nowadays it's so fast to get what you want. The most powerful brand on Earth. Alright, let's search. The most powerful brand on Earth. How to transform teams, from Chris Boudreau and Susan F. Emmerich. Yeah, that's it. Alright. It's 13 euros. Let's buy this. One click and ready. See, that's what I like with the Kindle. Bought in 5 seconds. Very convenient. So we gotta look into that later on. And there is a social and another book. Social Employee: How Great Companies Make Social Media Work. A business book. Oh. Maybe that one's good as well? Huh. Let's take a look. The social employee. The social. That's a problem. Like I'm native speaking German, but all the nice books you need are in English. So that's why I always encourage you guys to improve your English, because that's really important. On the long term, it's really important. This is only $10. Alright, we get it. Alright, back to work. Yeah, the archive, sorry. So, this is a, yeah, I bookmarked that one. This is a site from Chris, the author of the book, and it's a database of social media policies, and it tells the employees how they should react or work with these. I'm in healthcare as a business, so, and I like the Cleveland Clinic, so let's go. And Columbia University. Okay, let's look into these. Alright, social media policy. By posting on any Cleveland Clinic social media website, you agree to these terms. Cleveland Clinic CC has opened publicly facing pages on social media sites for viewing content and or videos posting comment about CC. These social media sites include, but are not limited to, various blogs, bulletin boards, networks, multimedia and news media sites, or other user-generated content sites, social media sites. By accessing, viewing, or posting any content related directly or indirectly to CC on any social media site on the internet, you accept without limitation or qualification the following terms of use. If you do not agree to the terms of this policy, you may not view or post any content to any social media site on the internet. Your use of social media sites is acceptance of this policy and has the same effect as if you had actually physically signed an agreement. That's very interesting. The term is very interesting because it says if you do, it's the same as if you have signed a paper. But here it says about Cleveland, about this website, social media policy. Our rules governing posting on Cleveland's publicly facing social media sites. But this is, it doesn't look like it's specifically made for the staff. And this one is guidelines for all staff, faculty, and students, and apply to all interactive social media, including but not limited Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, Google+, websites, and blogs. The CUMC policies on professionalism, protection of confidential or proprietary information, and use of computers or other university resources, and the prohibition on discrimination and harassment apply to social media, just as they apply to all other forms of communication. This is nice. The university's expectation is that employees will not spend excessive time on social media for personal reasons during work hours. Failure to comply with this expectation may result in discipline up to and including termination. I like the term termination. It's like, it sounds so harsh. Alright. All the Mayo Clinics, also good. Philosophy, social media policy, super health, Twitter guidelines from Vertex Pharmaceuticals. Oh, Pfizer, the social media playbook. That's an interesting. That's an interesting term. Playbook. That doesn't look like the former guy. Scoops. Huh? I don't know. Primary care and social media participation policies. The problem is, like, if you're a small business, you cannot do everything they do. Oh, Script has a new website design. Interesting. Ohio Medical Center. What you should do: be smart, be respectful, be human, be authentic. When you post or comment in social media, always state your name. Be transparent. State that it is your opinion unless authorized to speak on behalf of the medical center. You must state the views expressed are your own. Be careful. Protect what personal information you share online. Be responsible and act ethically. When you are at work, your primary responsibility is the work of the medical center. What you should never disclose: confidential OSU information. If you find yourself wondering whether you can talk about something you learned at work, don't. Patient information. Do not talk about patients or release patient information. Personal information. Do not refer to your co-workers in an abusive or harassing manner. Legal information. Do not disclose anything to do with a legal issue, legal case, or attorneys. Materials that belong to someone else. Stick to posting your own creations. Do not share or copyrighted publications, logos, or other images that are trademarked. If you do use someone else's materials, give them credit. In some cases, you may also need their permission. Alright, consequences. Just in case you were forgetful or otherwise did not follow the policy guidelines, here's what could happen. You could face personal legal troubles and corrective action up to and including termination. Also could face legal trouble with patients and customers. All violations must be reported to your manager. Related policies: sexual harassment, workplace standards, patient confidentiality, ethics, photography of patients, and electronic resources. Oh, photography of patients? They have a rule on that? That's interesting. I can look into that. Yeah, quite interesting, right? Alright, so it was showing a text field earlier. Interesting. It doesn't pop up anymore. Yeah, still I want to answer that one. So, it's a quiet, guys. So what would be the best tactics? So I work in the medical field, right? So I think the easiest tactic for me to go against, like, social media harassment or something, that would be stockpile credentials. Because we treat patients, right? So we have the possibility to motivate them to speak for us. So we could ask patients. So that's, I think, the best tactics. Recruiting multipliers would be hard, I guess. Respond with high speed. Yeah, we can do that, but still, I think the best thing in our business would be to have more credentials. I think that's like the best idea, right? Or is Gladys still online? Let me check that. Oh, I guess he is. He's not answering questions as always. Alright, so wird eigentlich ein Text eingefällt. Yeah, but where's the field? Where's the field? Oh, maybe I try with that one. Huh? Why isn't it showing up? There it is. Alright. There it is. Yeah, it's a really short topic. All right, so let me shortly check on the messages we got on the board. I missed a webinar yesterday. All right. Don't they have a recording? Yeah, I missed this.
Again, I know we had some problems with the webinar, so I thought I'd just go right ahead and record the last section of the webinar for you.
I like Chris. He's
so,
like, so
I know the connection should have been pretty good at this point. I don't see there was any problems when we got to this point, so I'm going to pick up from here, and then you can scrub through this if you've already seen this part again. So here we have two landing pages, virtually identical in every way. But we have two buttons. One's a green button, one's a red button on the various pages, and I've just blown the buttons up there at the bottom so you can see what it is that it says. Now, conventional wisdom says that the green button would work best because green is for go and so on, whereas red is for danger. And when I asked that question on the webinar a little earlier today, the majority of you said the green button works best, but it is actually the red button that works. Red, yes, is for danger, but it's also an action colour. And in this case, the red button actually stands out a little bit more from the page, so it causes greater contrast. So rather than just saying stick a big red button on your pages, I'd rather say, stick a big button on there that is in direct contrast to the rest of the page. They found that 21% more people clicked on the red button than the green button, so quite a considerable difference for such a little change. Here's one example that we couldn't actually go through on the webinar today because it was being loaded into WebEx. But there's two versions of this page that I want to show you. So first of all, you've got version A and you've got version B. So version A includes this little secure kind of logo thing here. And if you look at version B, it does not. Right? It does not show that at all. So which one? Version A, version B?
Version A. I think version A is better.
Most people would actually say version A would get that, but that's not the case. Version B, this version actually works best. The reason being, 9 times out of 10, if you put like trust symbols and stuff like that on your web pages, they will actually convert better. But the results for this one were quite surprising. It was a 400% increase in conversions over 3 days for the page without the security in it. So it was a relatively short test anyway and may not have been long enough. But in this case, maybe that logo didn't look particularly cool. Maybe it didn't look legitimate enough for whatever reason. So either way, my point is with this, it's always worth testing stuff. Even if conventional wisdom tells you that you think you've got it right, it's always worth testing because you never know until you test. This was the example, again, equally, we mentioned this, but I think this may have been where the webinar dropped out earlier. In this example, you've got this version of the page, which is version A, and you've got version B. Version A, version B. And the only thing that's different here is in fact, I'm just going to draw it on here again. The only thing that's different here is this never beaten on price logo versus the Seiko authorized dealer version. Which is here, you can see, right? So everything else is the same on the page. Authorized dealer, never beaten on price. Authorized dealer, never beaten on price. So it's actually this version. This version performs better. In fact, this variation increased sales 107% for the page that led with authenticity, this page here. over this one here. There's a couple of key things here. One, there's a lot of fake watches online, so maybe that was a big determining factor. And two, this Express watches are a very cheap online watch retailer, so maybe by the time you're at this point, you know it's the cheapest price anyway, so never beating on price isn't really much of a factor for you. But either way, it's worth testing those things. I was talking also about knowing how to test, right? And you've just heard me mention that the test wasn't a very long one for one of those examples. So before you're going to do some sort of test, really try and understand your cycles, whether you have regional or seasonal trends, whether your activity spikes around certain days of the week or hours of the day even. Just make sure you're aware of those and you've accommodated for those in your test. Run a test length calculator to determine how long you should run a test for based on your traffic and the type of result you want to achieve. Set the test runtime and, just like in a retail store, run it and then stop it at the end. Right? Analyse the data and then make your changes based on that. But what we often find with digital is we'll run a test, we'll leave it for a few hours, we'll see that the results kind of support our intuition anyway, and we'll just stop it. We'll stop that test straight away, which is a real shame because sometimes that can lead to inaccurate conclusions. We end up making pretty bad decisions as a result of that. So make sure we're really aware of our business cycles, our sales cycles and that sort of thing to give ourselves a good chance at testing our various different creative executions or whatever it is. So let's just have a quick little look at what a test length would look like and just how much we've got to consider here. So if we take a look at this page here, we're going to say that there's only 3 things that we're going to try and test. We're going to try and test the headline in green, we're going to test the image in red, and we're going to test the call to action in blue. Now, if you were to test one of those, so when you do A/B testing, you simply test one of these items at a time. So you run the same page with a different headline, for example. As soon as you start testing more than one thing or changing one thing and testing it, you're into the realms of multivariate testing. Now, if you want a multivariate test, you'll usually need some sort of platform that will allow you to do that. A lot of the kind of landing page services these days will allow you to do that. But let's say, for example, you have 3 different headlines, you have 3 different images that you want to test, and you have 3 different calls to action. That would actually lead to 27 different possible combinations of that landing page. 3 headlines times 3 images times 3 call to action, 27. So that's a lot of creative executions for you to get. That's a lot of work to create those pages in the first place, certainly. But let's now have a look at what sort of traffic you would need to generate and how long you would need to run that test for it to be meaningful. So you can see here there's a split test and multivariate test duration calculator, which is in your resources after this class. This is actually done by VWO, so you can Google VWO test calculator and you'll find it easy enough, but it's in the resources anyway. So if we've got, say, an estimated conversion rate of about 15% right now, and we want to get a 30% improvement on that, we have 27 different combinations, right? And we have the average number of daily visitors at 100, and we want to include all of those visitors in the test. So 15% conversion rate right now, we want to try and increase it by 30%, not increase it to 30%, that's important, just to get a 30% bump on our already 15%. We've got 27 variations because we're going to create 3 headlines, 3 images, 3 calls to action. Gives us 27 possible combinations of a landing page. And we get 100 visits a day. When you run that test length calculator, it shows you that you need to run that test for 272 days. Right, so that's an incredible amount of time. So like 9.5 months, something like that, to run a test to determine which one would actually be the best. Now, very often what you'll do is you'll create these tests and you'll run them for a couple of days and you kind of take whatever results you're given. But if you want them to be statistically significant, then you need to run them for a reasonable amount of time. So choose some sort of test length calculator to help you with that. One of the most popular multivariate testing case studies is from the Obama 2008 campaign. This was the signed off creative, and at first glance, you know, it looks like this landing page is pretty awesome, right? There's not really a great deal that can go wrong here. You've got a great image, you've got a box, or a box for email and postcode, zip code, and then you've got the call to action of sign up, right? There's not much you can do wrong with that. So get involved was the slogan, with the blue banners and the image there. You've got the 2 boxes and the sign up button. Now if you have a look at what actually went, you've got the image, you've got the headline, change we can believe in, and then you've got learn more as the call to action, as the sign up text. Now this page, I don't like this page. I think the previous one was much better. And that's kind of important here, because that's the point I'm trying to make. This page actually led to a 40.6% increase in sign-ups.
Oh wow.
Now, they were pretty cool because they managed to track a lot of their sign-ups to donations. So that 40.6% was actually responsible for an additional $78 million in donations. So it's probably very well worth spending the several $100,000 they spent on all of this testing. They actually tested hundreds of variations of this landing page, and this was no doubt the winner. But my point about me not liking this page and much preferring this page, that's a great point to make, because very often we lead with what we like, not necessarily what's going to work. And the only way that we can, you know, run the best rather than what we prefer is to run tests and let the data decide which one works best and which one we should run with. It's also a great way to save in department disputes, you know, about which page we think we should run. Well, test them all, and let the data decide which ones are the strongest, so you can really run with the strongest creative and the best possible chance for getting your conversions. As I said, there's going to be some resources for you that will get sent out to you, so I'll give you a digital copy of the e-commerce conversion rate book that I wrote a couple of years ago, and also there's the brilliant blog here from Espionage, which has got 15 best conversion rate optimization resources, and there's some really good ones in there, including a Which Test Won website. So you can have a look at a couple of creative executions, you get to guess which one you thought would work best. Then they tell you the results and how many people voted for each one, so you kind of get to test your knowledge against other people, as well as a full write-up as to what happened and why they think that happened. So it's a really great interactive way of learning a little bit more about conversion rate optimization. So hopefully you found this webinar and this now small recording useful for you. So by now you should be able to know the importance of conversion, think about how your visitors take action, begin to understand and exploit the laws of reciprocity. Remember, we spoke about that on the webinar. If you do something cool for somebody else and you demonstrate epic amounts of goodwill, or generate epic amounts of goodwill, that tends to come back to you. Identify common conversion factors. So we looked at the big 10 factors that I showed you earlier on in the webinar, as well as being able to create a straightforward approach to testing and optimization. You can see that there's a link there on the screen for feedback around the webinar. We do welcome your feedback, of course. So if you could take the time to complete that survey, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. So for me, it's been an absolute pleasure to deliver this webinar for you. I know we didn't have the best of luck with the technology yet again, and I apologize for that profusely. But hopefully you found the content of the webinar useful. Hopefully you've been able to take one or two things away from this that you can employ in your business to help see you get a better result from your conversions and your traffic you've been generated, that you're generating rather, to your web pages and landing pages. So thank you very much for your participation during the class, and thank you very much indeed for your continued patience. It really does mean a lot to us. So thank you very much, and I shall hope to speak to you all again very soon.
So what does he have? Oh, CRO webinar. So that's our course manager. The manager for our group. So wow, nice. He's a consultant speaker. Wow, looks good. It looks good. All right. Anyways, I wonder when we get to see the recording. And I would have had time, and the stupid thing is, the calendar didn't remind me. So, anyways. Alright. So, what else is there? So I'll continue watching the modules. So we are on, yeah, we watched that already. And diversity of metrics.
The second principle of agile marketing modeling is to use a diversity of metrics. And in my own work with companies, I've organized this around 4 classes of metrics, which we've tested in that study looking at marketing ROI, and it did seem to validate that businesses that were using metrics across these 4 classes seem to have better success in measuring their outcomes. So there's really 4 different kinds, and as you look at new metrics, as you are trying new digital marketing, in each case, whatever the new tactic is, you can think about, well, which metrics are available to me and where do they fit into these 4 different classes? And ideally, the goal is to get some metrics in each of the 4 classes. Right, so the first class of metrics in this model is what I call audience metrics. An audience metric is anything that tells you who are you reaching. So that would be frequency, reach, any demographic measures of the kinds of people who are maybe seeing a message or being reached by an audience. It would also, in social media, include things like your sheer number of fans on a Facebook or followers on LinkedIn or Twitter. Any measures such as the number of views of a piece of content or a page on a site, maybe your monthly unique visitors in terms of volume of traffic you're getting. Any of these things that you're measuring, basically the audience that is being touched, that is being reached, would be in this first category of audience metrics. Now, let me ask you as a marketer who's trying to understand the impact of your marketing, what do you see as sort of would be in this first category of audience metrics? Now, let me ask you as a marketer who's trying to understand the impact of your marketing.
What is too fast? Too fast?
Would be
Volume
in
of
this
traffic.
first category of audience metrics. Now, let me ask you as a marketer who's trying to understand the impact of your marketing. What do you see as sort of maybe the benefits or the limitations, maybe both the pros and the cons of audience metrics? So,
Let's think of the pros and cons of audience metrics. So I think it's the easiest way to get metrics. On the other hand, it does not reflect the business objectives. I don't know if anyone is reading that later on, but I think like answering these questions in between gets you like more an interactive thing, and you start thinking. So
So what I tend to hear when I'm talking to executives about this model, audience metrics, a lot of people immediately point to the limitations. They say, well, I can't really tell if it's driving these sales. It's far removed from a financial outcome, something like an ROI, which is absolutely true. Others will say, it doesn't even tell me if the audience is interested, is engaged. That's also true. But there are some benefits, and many businesses realize this, and that's why they tend to track these. One of the things about audience metrics is they're very easy to measure. They're very easy to measure very rapidly and iteratively. So
that's true. That's what I said, right?
On a real-time level, this can be something that's sort of an early alert of sort of where things are going in your marketing campaign. It's also important to know, what's the universe of people you're even reaching. Before you get to the question of what their response is, you do want to know if this is the right people you're even trying to reach, or if you're even achieving, for example, the scale that is necessary to even start to achieve your marketing objective.
Yeah, the topic is agile modeling. So they say it's like too difficult in social media to have like good numbers, so you have to be agile in the way you are measuring your metrics for digital marketing. Yeah, that's what they say. On the edge is still here. PKV. Nice username. All right. Oh.
Our second class of metrics in my model is what I call channel engagement metrics. So this is any metric that measures
channel. Yeah, that's interesting. All right.
How much attention you are getting from your customers. So that's very useful as you start thinking about what is really engaging this audience that you're reaching and how engaging is it. But it's called channel engagement metrics because these are metrics that are specific to a given channel. There's some metrics for YouTube, others for Facebook, others for LinkedIn, etc. So some examples we are commonly using as marketers today. We've talked about these before, but Twitter, you'd have something like retweets. On Facebook, you can look at the kinds of comments or amount of commenting you're getting on a Facebook post. If you have a website, a channel engagement metric would be how much time are customers spending on site? Not just that they landed, but are they staying for 30 seconds, 90 seconds, or for several minutes. If you remember the campaign with the launch of that music album by the indie English band, the XX, one of the amazing metrics was that people spent over 2 hours on this site streaming the content, the music album. So clearly you knew they were very engaged. Votes cast would be another engagement metric. For example, if you were having a forum where customers are participating and sharing ideas. Think back to the Starbucks example with the My Starbucks idea. Of course, you want to know how many ideas were submitted, but most of the people who are coming are casting votes. So that's a great way to know if people are simply landing at the site or they're actually getting engaged and it's holding your attention and they're feeling some connection to it. Even a branded banner ad could use a measure like click-throughs to see, whether people are not only being shown the ad, but whether they're clicking to watch more, turning on the audio if there's a little video clip playing on the side of the web page that they're looking at. So let me ask you, in your own marketing that you've done, there's a lot of engagement metrics like this. What's an engagement metric that you've used to try to understand if the marketing you're using is actually holding the attention of your customers?
Good question. Yeah, there was always a big hassle. I tried to promote a video on Facebook, and so we were checking on the 10 seconds, the people who watch 10 seconds at least. So even that number was not quite great, but it was like the interaction against impression, right? I was focusing. and there's the audio on views, right? So on Facebook advertisement, if you do that, people can watch the video with and without audio. So people switch on the audio are typically higher valued in the metrics than the ones who did not. Yeah, so a lot of
So we see a real diversity. And these things are both on the digital tactics that we've talked about. You can also look at channel engagement metrics, even on things, traditional marketing. For example, a television ad, a common metric is ad recall. Can people remember that TV ad and what they saw sometime after seeing it? In fact, in the research study I did with Don Sexton, we looked at how marketers were measuring different kinds of traditional versus digital channels for marketing. And in fact, we found that although these channel engagement metrics were used sometimes for traditional marketing metrics, they're even more common with these digital channels. So it appears that as we are using more digital tools for marketing, the reliance on and the value of these channel engagement metrics is becoming more pronounced over time.
All right. Next video. Do you think it's interesting for you guys? I don't know. Ouch.
The third class of metrics in my model is what I call universal engagement metrics. So this is still engagement, but it's not tied to a given or specific channel or another. This is really any kind of metric that helps you measure the overall relationship between the customer and your brand or your business. So some common universal engagement metrics are brand measures, such as brand awareness. How many people are aware of your brand in the marketplace? A lot of different kinds of brand sentiment measures. So different market research firms have developed ways of measuring how your brand is perceived, whether it's positively or there's a lot of energy or interest in it, etc. Purchase intent is another very common marketing measure I'd put in this category, because it's not natural purchase, but it's that inclination. They're thinking about an intent.
Yeah, that's hard to manage for our business.
Customer satisfaction is another very popular or common metric of this kind. There's also some measures for word of mouth, one of the most common being the Net Promoter Score. So that's a metric to try to understand how likely your customers are to actually mention or promote your brand, your service, and mention it to others compared with other brands that they may enjoy or be satisfied, but are they really willing to or likely to share it with others? Now let me ask you, in terms of these metrics, again, what do you see as some of the pros, the benefits of having this kind of a measurement versus some of the limitations or cons in terms of making your marketing decisions?
What? Oh, over there. I didn't read the last text, it was too fast. So, what do you think are the benefits and limitations of universal engagement metrics? Oh, benefits? I think they are harder to get. So, cons is hard. It's hard to measure them. But gives it's more like good question. What do you think are benefits of universal benefits? Yeah, to give like an overall view, right? Overall view. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm not that good in digital marketing. You just stopped your broadcast and I didn't realize, so I couldn't read the last sentence. All right.
So some of the common sort of pros and cons I hear from businesses as I talk to their marketing leadership about what they're measuring. On the plus side, they do tend to measure these because it's very important to understand that customer relationship. It gives you this broader picture which is really vital to understanding how it's growing over time if you're really investing in your brand.
Yeah, but how do you measure that as a small
The
local
inherent
business?
limitation is because it's a universal metric, it means sort of everything can feed into it, right? Lots of things can cause your customer satisfaction to go up or down, or your net promoter score. Maybe it's the product, maybe it's your customer service channel, maybe it's your marketing communications, maybe it's that new digital campaign you're using. So the challenge we get in here is to tease out what are the various factors that can all feed into that same universal metric that's making the impact. And so sometimes if you get a score like a customer satisfaction, you also want to take some steps to sort of
the problem is how to measure these, right?
and get some more qualitative information on why a given score was higher or lower, so you can start to understand what the drivers are behind a metric like this.
Interesting. Yeah, the problem is like, how do you measure that as a small local business? I think that's like something, if you're a bigger brand, you can try to measure that one. But even though when we ask our patients to give us like feedback, most often they don't do. If we ask for like a testimonial about the nitrous oxide, typically we give out a lot of sheets and questionnaires, but they don't answer them. So I think it's like only half of the picture, because you don't get to ask everyone. So I think in social media you can like measure it, because everyone is interacting or not, but in the physical field, hello.
랜덤쌤님이 해야.
In the physical field, how do you want to do this, right? So you can ask people, but if you don't get an answer, is it positive or negative? That's like what I don't get. So universal metrics is good, but maybe not for physical brands or small brands. I think it's too hard to measure that, right?
랜덤쌤님이 is the day
The
vocal
fourth and final class of
translation.
metrics in my model is financial metrics.
조슈사동생님이
네, 생입니다. 진짜. Of course I am. It's live. Yeah, the professor's not live. He's recorded, of course. Yeah. What do you mean with a vocational translation? You mean like the voice text-to-speech thing?
랜덤쌤님이 that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, the text-to-speech is a Korean service. That's why it sounds a little bit weird, because it's talking Korean to you, so, and not English. So that's the only thing. Maybe if they improve on that, but I think it will be hard for the programmer to find a solution. How to find out whether the text is English or Korean. So that's why. Obviously, if you type something in Hangul, then it would pronounce it like Korean way, and if you're good in writing Hangul English, then it doesn't sound too bad actually. But I think like the reading out is not too bad. So even
랜덤쌤님이 get apostrophes great I just got you from hearing my message yelled 퇴간이.
Yeah, she's a little bit noisy, but that's Korean women are a little bit noisy.
Correct. So this is anything that measures the actual financial return, results, impact on your firm. So that could be a measurement of revenue. It could be something like market share. It could be actually customer acquisition. For example, if you have developed a customer lifetime value model and you understand, maybe not
랜덤쌤님이 와달유하지.
overall, how much on average a new customer is worth, or how much value they're going to bring, profit they're going to bring to your firm over their lifetime as a customer, then you can actually turn a number of acquired customers into a financial metric. You say, well, our customer lifetime value is...
I'm watching a digital marketing online course. It's like a postgraduate course where people who are interested in digital marketing can improve their knowledge on digital marketing. Since I try to promote my office, I was interested in that topic, so I enrolled in that online course, which sometimes it's in depth, and as a person not doing marketing, you would say, "Oh my God, I don't get it." Sometimes it's uh, too average. It's like a mixture between because they don't focus.
랜덤쌤님이 approach A really good business to get into in this day and age.
Yeah, that's right. So that's why I was looking into it. Since my business is physical dentistry, so it's a local business, so it's hard to apply everything they talk about into my business model. But I think it gives me more of an overall image what we could improve in digital marketing, and in my opinion, and I think I'm the only one in my region, digital marketing will be the only medium that brings in patients. So I think for recruiting new patients, I think digital marketing will be the future because the younger generations only rely on social media. The older, yeah,
랜덤쌤님이 리크루팅.
yeah, recruiting. Can you say that? I don't know. So I call it recruiting. We can't drag the people from the street, so it's basically we have to motivate them to come to us. So, and I think in that regard, yeah, social media will be the future of marketing. In America, it is already, I guess. Over here in Europe, because of legal regulations, it's not that much. In Germany, oh my God, someone followed. Thank you. The funny thing is, I can hear the sound, but I don't see the overlay. I don't know. I put on some overlay, but actually, I don't know where you can see that. So it's some kind of web source. No, that's not it. I'm actually not sure where that one is, but no, I'm not sure. That's not important. Yeah, at least I hear the sound right. The Twitch sound.
랜덤쌤님이 I respect your work, I understand and have friends that do the same thing. Social media advertising is the way to go nowadays, like Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I would say Twitter is dead. Twitter is like people don't like Twitter anymore. Over here in Europe, it's hard to reach people via Twitter, so I think Twitter is no practical tool for us to recruit.
랜덤쌤님이 트위터 isn't dead.
Yeah, if you see like not in America.
랜덤쌤님이 not in Americas.
Yeah, I saw a statistic about that, and the Twitter user numbers are declining, the messages are declining, and so I would say maybe not in America, but over here in Europe, Twitter never got big, and people don't rely on Twitter. So for marketing, I don't use Twitter. I have Twitter, but I don't use it. For marketing.
랜덤쌤님이 what social media is beating Twitter?
I think so. Like in my experience and my studies lately, I would say in Europe, Facebook and Instagram are the biggest marketing chances you get to use. Facebook is, I think, the biggest social media we use for like interacting socially. Instagram is for more like the Twitter style of communication. And I think, in my opinion, the next thing we will see is messengers.
랜덤쌤님이 Facebook is dead, Instagram is holding up a tweet. 펀처님이 AIT 디고모어 바이럴 위드 페이스북 포스트.
Yeah, Facebook is better. I mean, like, I can't talk for the US audience, but when I do something on Twitter, I don't get any responses. My Twitter account for like my broadcasting over here is, as I always told people, my streaming career is a social media experiment. So I'm sitting in front of the camera, motivating people, eating, studying, doing stuff, and try to engage people.
랜덤쌤님이 Are you Korean? I am sorry if I am wrong.
I don't look like Korean. Do I look like Korean? Oh my God, Glenny, it happened. Yeah, they. No, I'm not Korean, actually. Do I look like Korean? Yeah, maybe my clothing today is.
랜덤쌤님이 I have no idea.
It doesn't matter.
랜덤쌤님이 Koreans have a strong presence here.
You mean on Twitch? Yeah, Korea ruling the world. No, I'm not Korean. I'm from Switzerland. Yeah. So, and I even have someone watching on YouTube. I have someone watching on YouTube. Very nice. I'm not quite sure whether these measurements are really true.
랜덤쌤님이 Koreans are the best gamers. 랜덤쌤님이 월드 별표.
I think that's because they sit a lot in front of the PC and they're like studying very hard, so they even see gaming as a means of getting famous, earning money. And in Europe, no one sees gaming as a profession. That's why, in my opinion. I think Europeans start to think like more in that way, but until we are like.
랜덤쌤님이 They are more dedicated and have a better arcade scene.
That's true. That's true. I think, yeah, Europe was never like gaming is gaming. Gaming is not a profession, right? So people are always thinking, yeah, gaming is for the kids. And nowadays you can earn money with gaming. So they're like shifting their opinion. So I think, but yeah. But anyways, the Twitter thing. So if you want to reach me on that phone, I don't have Twitter on that one.
랜덤쌤님이 Where are you from? I am sorry, I would like to know.
So Twitter on my without business thing, I don't use it. You wouldn't reach me. So Twitter, for me, I think Twitter is dead. In Europe, at least, Twitter is dead. So if you want to have marketing campaigns in Europe, you should go for Facebook and Instagram. That's like the biggest thing. I think Snapchat is growing, but it's only for younger generation. So it's not typically a space I would advertise to. Yeah, but if you want to reach like an average population in Europe, you have to go with Facebook. Yeah, I think Twitter was interesting for business people around 5 years ago, but business people are changing to LinkedIn or something. So there's like a shift. So business contact is on LinkedIn. You would never reach a private person on LinkedIn, so that's not a marketing opportunity for me. And the Twitter thing, like the text is too short. You cannot put in what you want. You always need to replace the URLs and stuff. So, and that's also the thing with Instagram. You cannot post links. So it's not really a good tool for business marketing. And I think they will change it soon, because if they want to sell advertisement spots, they need to open up a way to put in links, right? Without a link, the advertisement nowadays, it's not working. And I think it's really hard to tell people, go into my profile and find the link. Yeah, I can understand that they don't want to lose people from their Instagram, right? But I think people will come back to Instagram. It's not that they lose a viewer on Instagram if someone clicks on an advertisement. So I think the ideology is wrong from Instagram. So if they open up for links, so when I am a business, I want to tell people, go to my website and check it out, and they leave, they will come back to Instagram later on. Because people are interested in the social media aspect.
랜덤쌤님이 저스트 레팅 유노 AS 파 AS 마케팅 알리스트 위드 아메리카 페이스북 이즈 다잉 트위터 이즈 부밍 인 아메리카 인스타그램 이즈 스틸 슈퍼 파퓰러.
You think Twitter is booming? Oh really? Let me look it up. So market shares of social media. Of social media networks. So let me take a look. The global media statistics summary of 2017. So download. So no, I don't read that. Social network sites worldwide ranked by numbers of active users. Facebook is 1.8 billion. Then comes WhatsApp. That's really strong in Europe, but there's no advertisement on WhatsApp. Then there's Facebook Messenger, and as I told you, the messengers are the future. Then there's QQ and WeChat. That's China. We don't have that over here. Qzone, and then comes Instagram with 600 million. Then comes Tumblr. I don't know if anyone uses that. And Twitter is 300 million worldwide.
I am talking about America's role.
That's true, but that only is like your market, right? Kakao Talk is 49 million. Dang, that's like.
랜덤쌤님이 페이스북 이즈 A 후컵 웹사이트 nowadays.
No, that's not true for marketing. And not true for Europe. If you see it that way, maybe that's like the American style of using social media, but that's not true in Europe. That's not really true in Europe. So LinkedIn is 106 million. I don't know. I don't use LinkedIn.
랜덤쌤님이 이치올 북포 애드버타이즈먼트 I suppose.
Yeah, so like for business, really doing business, still it's Facebook, because in my opinion there's like a couple of arguments that still are in favor of Facebook. First of all, Facebook has the biggest viewership, the biggest audience. I mean, it's 1.8 billion people, right? That's like 1/3 of the planet is registered on Facebook. The second thing is, when it comes to marketing, you have a very good sectioning of audiences. You will know the age, you will know the occupation, you will know the space where the people is, you will know their friends, you will know their interests. You don't know this on Twitter. Pornhub, yeah, maybe, but not for my services. But I mean, like, Instagram doesn't know the audience, right? If you're only subscribed, if you're on Instagram does not know your age, maybe your location, but not the age, not the gender. Instagram doesn't know anything about its audiences. That's why Instagram and Facebook are always trying to share their contacts. If you use Instagram and your phone, it will always ask you to connect your Instagram with your Facebook. It always asks you, and the only reason they do is they want to match the accounts. They want to see for if you do Instagram advertisement is done via Facebook. You cannot do advertisement on the Instagram page. So Facebook wants to know who is that Instagram user, and most of the people have both, right? So if they connect these, so Facebook knows its audiences, and that's very unique in social media. Most other platforms don't know. Yeah. and that's the biggest advantage Facebook has. We had on the course, there was a little story about targeting, right? It's called targeting, and someone was going to the marketing expert, and he said, dude, I need your help, and it has nothing to do with marketing. And he said, how can I help you? And he said, I was on that holiday trip in that hotel, and I met a beautiful woman, and we didn't exchange contacts, and I need to find her. So the digital marketing expert took out Facebook, and he was like targeting. So he was saying the person was on vacation, she has that age, she's probably from that region, she speaks that language, and she's female. And so he was putting out an advertisement on Facebook targeted to that woman, and it took less than 1 week until the woman replied from Facebook, she's the one he's looking for. So the targeting on Facebook is very precise, and that's interesting for marketers.
랜덤쌤님이 LNA.
So that's why I think Facebook is still, even for global marketing, it's the platform for marketing. And you have to look at it in a different way. Facebook is like, how old is Facebook? 10 years or something. So Facebook is like, it has a range of users that have financial income or working class, older and younger. So for Europe, I would say you would have the biggest audience.
랜덤쌤님이 I agree, I just don't think it's the right one.
But it depends, yeah, maybe, but it depends on what you want to advertise, right? So I have a dental office. So what do I post in Twitter to attract people to go to my dental office? First of all, if I put it out on Twitter, who reads that? It's the same thing on Instagram. So we were posting something on Instagram, and we got feedback from a lot of dental offices all over the globe. That's not the audience, right? So the post was done good. It was interactive. It was fun, but it didn't reach the audience. It reached a different audience, right? So the problem is you cannot target very well on Twitter. And yeah, I think, like, from my perspective, I don't use it. Many over here don't use it. So if I would have a product for America, of course, then I would, if I would have like a digital product, I would advertise on every channel, right? So in that perspective, you're right. So I would not miss the opportunity to reach 300 million people, but Twitter has 300 million people and Facebook has 1.8 billion.
혼사님이 too many comments disrupt JayK apostrophes study site turns into hip.
Yeah. That's true. Too many comments. Shh. 공부시간. Yeah. But it's like an interesting topic to discuss. Anyways, I think. Don't you think so?
CLV is $812, and we just brought in 10 new customers, so we can treat that as $8,120 of new profit that we brought in as a long-term revenue stream, right? Same thing, customer retention. So if you're able to now point to the fact that a particular new marketing
advertising is a monster data's broad range. I think whatever you want to reach out will be done.
Yeah, maybe. Financial metrics, that's also a good thing. I never took a look at
랜덤쌤님이 트위터, 페이스북 or whatever social media platform.
customer acquisition. Yeah, that's lacking lately, I have to say. Our customer acquisition went down by 18%. That's a lot. And the question is, for me, does that have something to do with the market or with us? Because like we're living at the border, so many people who want to have avoid high-priced dentistry, they go to Austria or to Germany or to Hungary or Spain or whatever, right? So the question is, I mean, we like in our area, we are one of the cheapest offices. So, like for the local market, we're not expensive, so that can't be the reason. But still, like in an overall view, our dentistry is more expensive than in the countries around. So the question is.
랜덤쌤님이 You sound like you have an Austrian accent.
No. Yeah. No. No. I'm German. I grew up in Bavaria, so I have a South German accent.
랜덤쌤님이 롤.
But on the other hand, one thing is true, my mother is from Austria, my father is from Germany, and I'm living in Switzerland, so I have many voices around me. I think
님이 what language is Ko?
Ko is Korean. Korean. Right? Isn't Korean? Do you write K-R? No, I think it's K-O. The language is K-O. Knockout.
님이 코노크 아웃.
한국말. 한국어. 예, 맞죠. But I'm studying marketing right now. And afterwards, maybe if I feel like it, I start, I go on with my Korean study. If I have time. I'm not sure.
님이 hello.
Hello. It says hello, not hello. That's very interesting. Yeah, gonna bug other people. Alright.
님이 welcome to.
Oh, 독일. I am German. Ich komme aus Deutschland und ich lebe in der Schweiz. Would I say that to a German in that way? I'm always not sure if you people tend to change their language when they talk to foreigners.
랜덤쌤님이 빈펀 탈킹.
잘 가요. That's true. Let me charge my phone. And I need something to drink. Let me grab some coffee. It's caffeine free. Caffeine free, coffee free. I don't know. I need something to drink.
님이 what language are you going to study next? 님이 차이니시시.
No, not Chinese because I'm bad in remembering signs. So I managed to learn Hangul, the Korean writing system. That's why I stick with Korean, right? And I've even stopped studying Japanese because the writing is too hard, and I don't have that much time. I don't have that much time. How do you measure customer retention? How do you measure that? That's an interesting question. So they should answer that one as well. How do you measure customer retention? Customer acquisition, I know how to measure that one. Market share, that's also interesting. How do you calculate the market share?
혼처님이 interested. 님이 I want to run someone in the future.
I could use Bevölkerungsdichte Schweiz. Yeah, that would be nice. So I go for I try to find out how many people live in my area. So Switzerland now is on 8 point. Look at this. When I entered Switzerland, we had 7.5 million people in Switzerland. 7.5, and today we are close to 8.3. So that means that, like, in the 10 years I've been here in Switzerland, the population increased by almost 10%. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, maybe we find that. Oh yeah, the statistics. That's good. Public statistic. Wohnbevölkerung. Would be nice if we take the maps. So the map tells us we are over here. So population, oh, that's interesting fact. Population in our region now, it's called the Rhine Valley. I go for the voting area, and the voting area is like the closest, and my office is like in the center of the voting area. So we would have a reach of 70,000. That's interesting. Let me calculate that one. So we'd have a reach of about 72,000 citizens. So, right? And like the common statistics says every person in Switzerland has to spend an average of $40 per month for the dentist, right? So if you take 40 times 12 times 72,000, that would mean our market area would produce 34.5 million Swiss francs of revenue per year. Alright, that's interesting. Alright, so now we need to find out how many dentists are we? Let me check. Let me check. Interesting calculation. I never thought about doing it that way. I need to go to my mails, so let me switch that one off. I don't know if I have that one. No, I don't have that one. Yeah, Black Light Disco was tweeting something on Twitter. Yeah, there we get it. So she's on Twitter. Yeah, that proved like the opposite, right? Anyways, let me check on my mailing app over here. No, maybe I can enter that one over the online mailing software. Let me try. That's an interesting figure. I never thought about calculating it. Login. We don't want to go for the cloud email. Nope, then the first one is lowercase. Yeah, there we are. And I'm gonna look up I'm gonna look up the emails No, they come in October, so it should be last year. We get a list every year about who is going to do the emergency services, right? So we will. No, that's not it. So there should be a list of people. Because there's a list, and then I can look up. So it is 37 emails, so I would say, and he himself, so 38 maybe. So 38 dentists. So that would mean, that's an interesting figure, right? Could that be true? If I calculate that, I think the number that comes out, I won't like it. Alright, so we would have 34 million, and we divide it through 38 dentists. So the average dentist in our region should have 909,000 Swiss francs per year. That's close to 1 million. Wow. I don't have that actually, but yeah, my office is new, so that's why. Interesting figures, right? I need to check on the list later on, but so the market share would then be, what did I have last year? I think like that, and then I divide it through 35. Let's take 35. It doesn't matter. That means I have a market share of 2.1%, right? Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So it's like a rough measurement, right? So you can find the population data on sta2.sg.ch. That's statistic data for Senkel. And the average price or dental cost, I found that on another article. I've been searching a long time for an average amount of money spent for the dentist. So that's how I calculated like the number of the citizens. So now it would be interesting, like to ask people, what's your annual revenue? They won't answer, right? I know they won't answer, but it would be interesting to ask them and say, like, in theory, we would have 72,000. I think it's not quite correct, because some of the dentists are living in another voting area, and that would be, and that voting area has like 42,000. So like let's
킨치님이 why are there so many foreigners studying Korean all of a sudden?
Why? The question is, the answer is very easy. The Korean culture gets spread a lot over the planet, and like there's a lot of manga fans, maybe manga like the cartoon thing, and at that time when people were into Japanese mangas, they tried to learn.
킨치님이 홀리 시듀, 네 입은 스트리밍 아프리카.
Yeah, of course I'm streaming Africa. That's the place. No, I think like the Japanese culture was very popular and people got interested into Asia, and nowadays K-pop, K-drama, and gaming esports is more popular, so people focus more and more on Korea. And since the Korean writing system Hangul is quite easy to learn, it's way more easy to get to study Korean than Japanese. On the other hand, because I was trying to study Japanese, there is so few.
킨치님이 키읔키읔키읔.
Yeah. So on the other hand, it's like for Japanese, learning Japanese, you lack in Japanese audio and visual materials. And with the Korean dramas being available like on a global scale, almost for free, it's very easy to listen to Korean language for a foreigner, right? So that's what I think. And that's why it's getting more and more popular. And the cuisine is getting more and more popular, so people are like focusing more and more into the Korean thing. Do I have people from that area? No, I don't think so. So if that's true, then I need to subtract like a couple of dentists from the other region, right? So I would need to reduce. Dang, I would need. No, that's stupid. That's I need to find out. Alright, so we go to the archive and we're searching for this. No, I didn't want to do that. We need to. So it was in October.
킨치님이 투베드 아프리카 이즈 다잉 패스트 인 코리아 IT 아포스트로피에스 저스트 A 매터 오브 타임.
Yeah, but you did not watch Global Africa. I guess you didn't even know there is Global Africa. And so this one is dying really, really, really fast. The question is, why is it not in the archives? Ah, there it is. All right, all right, all right. No, that's not it. There should be an Excel file. No, that was the wrong thing. No. Oh, there it is. I got it. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, the addresses. So I would need to subtract the dentists that are not in our region, right? And then I will find out. All right, so let me check. So this, oh my God, it's 49. So good news. My dental technician said one of my competitors called him. Very funny. All right. So we need to find who is not from my area. So this is -2. Yeah, Hornet gonna. So that would be -2. And this is my side. My side. Yeah, could be my side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. -12. Wow. So that would be -16. So that would mean my area is not 38 dentists, but 22. Right? So it's 22. So that would be 70,000 times 40 times 12. And then that would mean divided to 22. That would mean I should do an average of 1.5 million. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. That's not true for the most of our dentists. 1.5 million? No, never. But it should be. So if that would be true, everyone would be happy in our region. I know one dentist who told me he makes 600,000 a year. 600, not 1.5 million. So that proves the figures are not right. But it doesn't matter which figure I put into. Because it just shows the market share. That's but it's still an interesting figure, right? So so the easiest thing would be we had 2 dentists, or 1.5, and the region has 22 dentists, so we have a market share of 6.07%, right? So and if you take that and multiply that by 35 million, that would mean we should earn with our office 2.4 million. Wow, that's a nice goal. Interesting calculations, right? Yeah. Dang, that's an interesting figure. Where is he? All right. It's always the same thing. Yeah. So that would be an interesting figure, right? I guess. All right. Market share, interesting figure. So if I take like all right. So that's figure number 1. And the other thing would be like the 72,000 times 40 times 12 months. That's an interesting figure, guys. That's an interesting figure. So that should mean I should 1.57 million Swiss francs per year. Wow, that's a lot. That's actually a lot. So I think like a very reasonable amount would be between 800 and 1.2 million. I've never met anyone who makes more than 1.2 or something. I think that's like the highest figure I've heard from someone. But then of course you have to subtract like the dental technician costs, and of course so that would be just the gross revenue without any, like, all the bills that are coming in, like that figure, right? And typically dentistry has a lot of costs related to materials, the dental lab, and stuff like that. So typically you could subtract at least like 30% and a lot of staffing costs. So yeah. Interesting. But if we have a market share of 7%, like just from the amount of doctors we are in our office, then we should aim for an income of, not an income, a gross revenue of 2.4 million. Dang. I don't know my figures right now. I would like to go to the office and check on the numbers because that's like an interesting fact. I never saw it in that way. That's interesting. All right, let's continue.
Is increasing retention. Customers are taking longer, they're less likely to defect or stop working with you each year, then that actually extends the lifetime and increases that customer lifetime value. So now that can even be, customer retention can be a financial metric. Of course, ultimately you're hoping for something that's an ROI metric where you can look at the combination of both what you're investing and the return you're getting and compare those two together.
Interesting figures. Maybe I should go to marketing and tell people out. We have a 7% of market share, and then everyone would say, why do they have 7% of market share? Because I think no one ever did the math of checking on the market share in our area.
So we've seen 4 different kinds of metrics or classes of metrics, audience metrics.
Now let me think about, because the other number is, of course, the patients, right? So if you take 70,000 people divided by 22 dentists, that would mean every one of us should have 3,000 customers. No, I don't believe that. 3,000, that would mean 3,000 active patients, right? Because everyone has to go to the dentist somewhere. So that's an interesting figure, because the first time I was when I was like doing my business plan for my dental office, I was calculating a number of 2,400 patients per dentist, and now we are at 3,000. So we had a population increase, I guess. But where's everyone going? They're not in my office. That's an interesting thing. So when I started my office, it was 68,792 citizens, and now we are up to 71,989. 71,989 minus 68,792 means, so we got a population increase of 3,000. So that means we can have one more dentist. No, damn figures. But 68,792 divided by 22 is, yeah, at least we should be around 2,000. So is there like an age distribution? That would be interesting. What's the so foreigners less than 10 years in Switzerland is 9.7%, and the overall foreigner population in Switzerland and in our region is 27.1%. The scenario, like permanent living population in our area in the year 2040 would be 86,000. So it would be 15,000 more. So that would mean we can increase on 5 dentists. But that's not going to work out, I guess. And yeah, the age structure, that's interesting. So people over 64 is 26%. It will be 42% in 2040, but that's I'm retired at that time, so that's not really helpful for me. The people below 20 is 34%. It will be decreasing, and the overall population will have an average of 60 years, and in 2040 the average will be 76 years. Or what? Oh no, the ratio between below 20 plus the people that are over 60. Alright. So, religions. Always people ask me about religion. 90% is Lutheran, 50% is Catholic, 31% is without anything. Without confession is 15%, and non-Christian religions is around 12%. Oh yeah, financial terms, that's good. Wow. The tax rate per citizen per year is 2,000 Swiss francs in taxes per citizen. That's not really much. That's not really much. 2,000 Swiss francs per person. There, I'm paying too much tax. I'm paying too much tax. So that's interesting, the figure. People above 15 years with a background of migration. So people that are not living in Switzerland, that are there and their family is not originally Swiss. And that will be 38%. So there's less people dying than people are being born. That's quite good. It would be interesting to have something like income or something. So household. So we have 29,000 households in that region. And there's an average of 2.4 persons per household. 2.4 persons. That's not very much. So the question is now, when we go for dentistry, which is a medical field, typically like the families always go to the same office, right? So it would be maybe more useful to calculate like the market share in household and look like how many households do we serve. Interesting. So our patient count, I mean the office is new, but our patient count is around 2,100. So we need at least 1,000 more to be like equal to one dentist, like from the figure. That makes me think. Maybe we have to put more into advertisement to get more people. 1,000 more, at least. Very interesting. All right, let's continue.
Engagement metrics, universal engagement metrics, and financial metrics. And as I said, what seems to work best for marketers in terms of making informed marketing decisions is if you can have some measurements in all four of these buckets. But once you do, of course, the question you want to know and start thinking about is, okay, how do they drive each other? How do they relate to each other? And that's really what leads to the next principle of agile marketing modeling, which is to develop a model based on your specific strategy. So there's not an off-the-shelf model you're going to use, but by looking deeply at your new digital marketing or any kind of marketing strategy, putting together a model that you think will use these metrics to gain some insight in terms of how different effects are leading to different outcomes with your customers and your business. So let's look back at an example. You may remember from early in the program, I gave the example of the Ford Fiesta movement. Right? So this is the Ford Motors bringing their Fiesta, one of their car brands, to the U.S. for the first time, and how they had this campaign where they had, before the car launched, they gave the car to 100 young drivers and stimulated all these social media conversations and created all this buzz and sharing and so forth in social media channels. Now, this is a great example of a campaign that's very innovative, new, something Ford hadn't done before, and seems very challenging inherently. Well, how would you measure that? How do you know if that's really ultimately, delivering the goods, so to speak, for the business? Well, there have been some numbers that were released by Ford about this campaign and what happened. They released a number of figures about some of the social media activity, the millions of views that it got on YouTube, the millions of impressions on Twitter, how much they got reshared on Facebook and Twitter and retweeted, etc. In addition to those social media measurements, there were a couple other sort of bigger, broader measurements that they released. One was that they achieved a 38% pre-launch brand awareness of this new product brand, of the Fiesta, in the target audience. And they also said that they surpassed their goal of 100,000 test drives. So these are people who are signing up. They want to come for a test drive of the car. They sign up before the cars actually arrive in the lots. So again, during this pre-marketing stage, as we recall from that case. So if we can take this approach to thinking about the diverse metrics, we can go back again to those four classes of metrics and try to see if we can slot the measurements available to us into them and figure out if that can give us a better understanding of what's going on in this marketing campaign. So if we look at the measures we have in this case, certainly any of the measurements of sort of social media views, so impressions on Twitter, etc., views of YouTube videos, that would go into the first bucket, right? Audience metrics. Who did we reach? Who did we get in front of, so to speak? Who saw this? Then any of the social metrics which are more about sharing, commenting, retweeting, etc. Those would all go in the second class. Those are channel engagement. And you can look at those two together and start to get a sense of, well, how much of in these different channels, simply getting in front of the audience, how much of it actually held their attention and led to some feedback and response. And perhaps you might find that some of the channels turned out to be more effective for this kind of a campaign, storytelling around cars, than others, and that might help you know in the future where you want to focus more. Then you've got these two other non-social media metrics. You've got the pre-launch awareness, brand awareness, and as we said before, brand awareness is a classic universal engagement metric, so we put that in the third category. And then you also have the test drives, right? Signing up in advance that you want to test drive the car when it arrives at the Ford dealership. Now, I would classify that as lead generation, right? You clearly haven't sold the car, nobody's signed anything, but you've signed up, you've indicated interest, sort of a classic lead generation. So lead generation would go also into one of those universal engagement metrics of that customer interest and relationship. All right, so now we've sort of organized the metrics that we have, but that does sort of beg the question, all right, now we might be able to see how a certain level of social media interactions, etc., seems to have driven or led to a certain amount of pre-launch awareness and test drives. But what about financial outcomes, right? Did this actually sell any cars? How would we know whether we think it was worth the money and whether we want to do something like this again in the future? And that's a pretty challenging question. Let me toss it open to you first, see if you've got any ideas about how you could think creatively to not a perfect insight, but make some kind of guesses or estimates about the financial impact of this campaign.
Financial impact of the campaign. thing. So first of all, we can measure the cost, right? The cost for the campaign. Next thing that we can look on is like vehicles sold to target audience in a certain amount of time, like 6 months after the campaign, like because the question is, maybe I like the campaign, but I don't need to buy a car right now. So how do you would get brand awareness, but you would not sell a car, right? You could check on increase in overall sales. That's like the brand awareness. Because maybe you like the campaign but maybe you need a different car, so like that.
So this is a challenging question, but one of the approaches that people tend to notice or spot is you can look at something like, well, the test drives. How many of those converted into sales? And that's something, you're going from lead generation to sales, that's probably fairly measurable. In fact, you could probably even predict from previous car launches, well, a certain number of test drives tend to lead to sales. And in this case, you could find out if the same impact is there, or it might turn out that these young millennial drivers who hear about something on social media are even more sort of pre-sold, and so a higher percentage of them make a purchase, or maybe it's a lower percentage, maybe they're more fickle consumers. But that's something you ought to be able to pretty clearly measure some conversion and make an estimate of financial impact. What about the pre-launch awareness, right? A little trickier, but if you are, you're Ford Motors, you've launched cars before, you could probably look at some historical data between pre-launch awareness and sort of initial bump in sales and make some kind of model, some kind of rough estimate where you'd say, well, it appears that a certain amount of pre-launch awareness of a new product tends to correlate to a certain portion of the sales that happen within the first 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, etc. In which case you might be able to make sort of a rough estimate there about how this kind of buzz and awareness might have helped kind of get the sales just started and off the ground. But another important thing that people often don't think about, when you think about a financial impact of marketing, we often think about additional revenue, but it also, you can measure an ROI in terms of savings. In this case, it might be savings on marketing spend. Because when you think of the actual decision that Ford was making and thinking about, do we do this campaign again? Did we think this was successful? Well, the options are not, we'll do another Ford Fiesta movement, or we'll do nothing, right? Ford Motors is not going to bring a car to market without anything happening during this pre-marketing stage. So it was that or a traditional marketing campaign, spending on traditional broadcast media. And in fact, they did comment that the cost of this campaign, while it certainly cost money, was several times cheaper than the cost of the traditional pre-marketing for a car. So if nothing else, you could very legitimately argue as a marketer in charge of this project and say, look, if we have achieved the same KPIs, the same key metrics of awareness and test drives, which we always look for with a pre-marketing campaign, but we've done it for a significantly lower cost, well, that's an ROI to the firm. We've reduced our cost to achieve the same goal.
That's true. Studying is so hard. 박 집사님, 오랜만이다.
So we saw the case of the Ford Fiesta. Let's look at a very different case, and again, how you can think creatively to model the possible marketing impact of a different kind of marketing investment. This is actually not a digital marketing case, but it's an example of something very unconventional and how you can think creatively to measure its marketing impact on a brand and a business. If you've been to New York in the last few years, you may have noticed the Citi Bike, C-I-T-I. They're branded Citi like the bank, and they're all over. It's the bike sharing program we now have in New York, as many other cities around the world have developed bike sharing programs over the last decade or so. And there are these rows of the bikes in various locations around the city, and you can pick up a bike and go riding around for a small fee and then drop it off at another station. Now, in this arrive, actually, a lot of people in New York see that.
Yes, it's an online lesson for digital marketing. It's how to promote your brand. It's about marketing in social media and digital marketing in general. So it's pay-per-click advertisement, social media advertisement, and stuff like that. So, and I enrolled in that course in March, and it will continue for. It's only 1 month left, so I have to keep up with everything. And it's quite interesting for me because I'm not educated in business administration, so it gives me a new insight in what to look at when I do things, how to measure things, and even like to measure at all, right? Because we are in dentistry, we are not trained to that, so we look at these things and we just say, I felt I have like more or less customers. That's like all we measure. Well, we don't measure like increase of revenue and stuff like that. So that's really hard to measure for us, and because we don't have like big business models where you can like see changes in the business very easily. So we don't tend to do this. The business is too small, but I think we need to look more into numbers to improve, and that's what many dentists don't do. They just and many dentists just look on and say, I've been treating for $20,000, let's say that, but they don't check on the number how much money is coming in. So the question is not how much do I treat, the question is how much do I get, right? And so for that reason, I think most dentists are very unprepared when it comes to marketing, business administration, finances, and that's why many dentists struggle nowadays, because they're unable to drive their business in a business way and not just in a medical way. So that's like the problem, right? So, and there's no numbers, so I mostly take American numbers for reference, so that I would say like the typical cost of staffing is that the typical cost of material is that, and the problem is you don't get these figures in Switzerland very easily. So that's like one of the main problems we have. We don't have like a benchmark. It's not like in the industry where you can say like a typical online business has like that sales, that cost, that conversion rates and stuff like that. It's not that you can measure what we do in a simple way, and our softwares do not reflect that, and that's a problem because we know how much like estimates we give out, but people say, I don't know what to choose from, so give me 3 different estimates. So we give out 3 estimates. So the question is, when we do the estimates, how much do we get in return, and how much do we get back from the specific person, right? So that's like hard to measure for us. It would be all manual work, and no one has time to do that. So it's really hard to get like facts on our business, like real facts, what's happening in the business. That's like all in clouds, and that's why it's really hard for us, and we're struggling a lot in developing our business model, because we cannot really measure what's working and what's not working. That's the hard thing for us, I think. So, and that's why I look into these topics, because I think we need to advertise more. It's the modern times. People don't only rely on word of mouth. And when I take the figures from my office, we have like 20 to 30% of the people.
흑집사하트님이 예 IT would be difficult to measure.
Yeah, we have like 20 to 30% of our new patients come from Google. So, I mean, like pay-per-click advertisement and the website and stuff, it's like a big driver for our new patient recruitment. So, that's very important. But still, we have to figure out what we can improve, how we can get people to realize us, to know that we are there. There's many people who say, oh, I didn't know in that building is a dentist, because they don't see us, right? The problem is we are like hidden in our building. We are there, but people don't know about us. So, yeah, we have to drive the awareness of our existence. That's like the main problem we have, and I'm not quite sure how we can achieve that in a simple way. Yeah, that's like the problem. I think that's one of the main problems, and I think like targeting in social media would be the easiest and cheapest way. So if people have their phones, they would see, oh, like an advertisement, the dentist in our region or something, so that we would target people, and people would say, oh, this guy is, there's a dentist over here. Something like that. Yeah. Did Glenny leave? Yeah, he left, I guess. Yeah, there's not much time, so I have to head out as well. Because it's 2 o'clock and the shops close at 5 o'clock, so I'm not quite sure whether I should go to the city or not, but I wanted to go out because the sun is shining. It's nice weather, so I wanted to go out a little bit, and yeah, not always sit in front of the PC. Yeah, so when I do my marketing plan and my objectives, I think.
흑집사하트님이 in Korea businessmen use A by advertisement like A 네이버 is a very popular site, so many people can see that. 흑집사하트님이 there is a similar site in Switzerland.
Yes, there is. It's Google. Basically, it's Google, and we do Google advertisement. We typically don't do like banner advertisement, because in Google there is no like place for banner advertisement. And it's rather expensive. The problem is the market is very small, so I'm targeting like 70,000 people in my region. I don't target people that are like too far away from us, so it doesn't make sense to target like a very broad audience, and this is one of the main problems. So at the moment we are like doing pay-per-click advertisement, so people who are like specifically searching something about.
흑집사하트님이 얘 다프스트로 PS 트루.
So when you search something related to dentistry, we will bring up a pay-per-click advertisement. and I think that's like the only thing we can do right now. There is not very much sites or apps or stuff where we can put in things for brand awareness. So, or maybe we have to find it out, right? So my approach would be like Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And yeah, we should basically, I'm not quite sure what the main objective should be. I think the main objective would be like increase traffic to the website, to make people aware, oh, there's an office and where the location is and stuff like that. So like a simple awareness thing. And in the second step, we can like advertise specific services. But I think brand awareness, that's like the main problem we have. Since people walk into the shopping mall, but they don't realize that there is a dentist. If they look at the signs and search for us, then yes, but typically if you go to the stores, you don't look for the dentist, so you wouldn't even realize that there is a dentist. So that's like the main thing, the main problem we have.
흑집사 하트님이 So you have to finish now.
Yeah, quite. I don't have to, but the sun is shining, so I was thinking of maybe going to the city, and I think today it will be very hot, so typically it's not the time to have a nice walk. But where's my weather app? So yeah, like it's like around, it just says 70 degrees. I don't believe that. No, it's 22 degrees, and there's no clouds on the sky. It's like absolutely blue sky without anything, and that happens like 2 or 3 times in a year. So that's why I wanted to go out and yeah, have a walk or something, and like stroll through the city. So I won't have to get to the car.
흑집사 하트님이 와우.
So I have to go to the car, drive 20 minutes to the city. So over here is nothing I can do. I'm living on the countryside, so yeah, then maybe like go through the city 1 hour and something, then go back, and yeah, something like that. So that would mean like 3 to 4, and then maybe, yeah, then it's already very late. That's the problem, like over here, because you have to drive, you always have to calculate the driving time, going to the parking lot, strolling around, go back, and it takes a lot of time. And in Switzerland, the shops close at 5. Today, shops close at 5, so it's 3, 4, 5. So it's only 3 hours left where I can like do anything in the city. So if I don't head out now, that's the typical problem. If I don't head out now, then there's no use of going out, because then when the shops close, it's not interesting, right?
흑집사 하트님이
So that's like the problem. So if you're heading out too late, yeah, there's nothing much to do, and then it's getting boring. And when it's boring, what do you do when it's boring? It's just boring. Then yeah, that's like the thing. So, and on the other hand, like I know the city, like if you live here for a long time, there's nothing new coming up.
흑집사 하트님이 We close at 오후 10시 in Korea.
10시, 네, 맞죠? That's the problem over here. We close too early, and that's why business is not flourishing, because it's like, on the one hand, the staffing cost is too high, so you cannot open up like endless because the people are too expensive. But on the other hand, like a lot of sales, like on days like today, it's sunny, so families would be outside. They would be cycling, hiking, and doing something else. So they wouldn't come back before 5 o'clock, and maybe then they would go back into this city and do something. And if you like, if you would go for eating in the evening, you would go at 7 o'clock. So between 5 and 7, there's like a big gap in the city where nothing happens. So it's not really. It's like an ancient system from a long time ago, and they still stick to it. That's like the main thing. They stick to a system that's not good. That's not developing further. That's not getting forward. And yeah, Swiss people are like this, right?
흑집사하트님이 아하.
Yeah, that's a problem. So, and since Swiss people are like really stern, and that's like the main thing, and that's why the country is like, it's like stuck in its own problems. It doesn't see the problems. It doesn't move forward. It doesn't move backward. It's like too static. The system is too static over here. That's the main thing why Switzerland got rich, is because the political system was very static, and there was not big changes, and every change was like foreseen for years because the political process would be slow. But when time changes too fast, the country.
흑집사하트님이 most European countries are similar.
No. The political systems are different, and that's why the economics are different, the mentality is different. So it's like, if I would say, is Korea similar to China? It is not. I mean, it's like different countries, different economics, different political systems, different mentalities. And the same with Japan, Korea and Japan. For like Europeans, oh yeah, they're close together, but they're not. I mean, a Japanese person doesn't act in the way a Korean person. A Korean person acts. So maybe you could say maybe Singapore, Taiwan are similar, or you could say, I don't know, but that's like Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan. Maybe these are like same thing because they were like they have the same kind of the same history, right? But I think you could not even say northern India is the same thing than southern India, because the one thing is hot and the other side is cold. So mentalities are a little bit different as well. So. And that does apply to Germany as well. A northern German person has a totally different mindset from a southern German person. You cannot say it's similar. No, you cannot, I guess. It's the climate is different, the economies are different, the languages are different. So no, I would say no. Of course, European mentality is closer to each other than like European to American mentality, or European to Asian mentality, or European to South American mentalities, but it's not similar, right? I think even like Commonwealth, is Australia, New Zealand, and Great Britain similar? In some way, yes it is, but in reality it's not. I wouldn't say so. Alright, so it was nice to see you again. I try to broadcast on a regular basis, but I have so few time these days.
흑집사하트님이 아이가 나이키.
I didn't read the... How do you say? I don't know. Yeah. Alright guys, so I'm heading out, and I wish you a nice evening in Korea. Maybe if you go out and eat something nice.
흑집사 하트님이 는 스마일.
Yeah, it's a smile. It's like twitched eyes, twitched Asian eyes. And yeah, so yeah, wish you a nice evening. And I think the weather in Korea will be warm and hot as well. So maybe you can enjoy the nice evening in Korea. And yeah, I will just go to the city and then head back. So no, not a big deal. Maybe I go to the bookstore and find something interesting, or I just go to the electronics store and try to find some new gear. The Galaxy S8 looks very nice, guys. Did you see that?
흑집사 하트님이 예 스카이 이즈 블루 디즈 제이즈.
Oh, if the sky is blue and you haven't been there, go to Seoul Sky. Seoul Sky observation desk. If there's good weather and if you have a good if you have a wide view, then you should check out Seoul Sky. I was in April. It was quite okay. It's not that cheap. It's 27,000 won. 27,000원. 네, 맞죠. 근데 꼭 가야 돼요.
흑집사 하트님이
Yeah, you have to go there. It's really nice. It's really nice over there. So I liked it. Actually, I liked it. I don't have no. I need to prepare like a slideshow for my Korean trip last time. Yeah, but if you haven't been, if you're like close to Seoul or in Seoul, and if you have time, and if the weather is good and the view is good, nighttime of course, go there when it's dark. And this is a really beautiful side of Seoul. If you haven't done so, definitely go there. And at the moment, it's not very popular at the moment because it's really new. So I would suggest go as quickly as you can, because when the foreigners get to know about this, and the Seoul
흑집사
people,
하트님이 오굿 인포메이션.
yeah, and if the Seoul people get to know this, I think it's like it will be one of the couple things to do in the future. So tourists and couples, so be fast, because I think when it's crowded over there, you won't have the same experience like nowadays when there's not so much people. Yeah, that's my opinion. Alright guys, that's it for today, or for now. Maybe not today, but for now. Alright, see you soon, have a nice evening, and see you in the next show.